What is up, YouTube, WordPress, Twitter, anywhere you viewing this? What's up, Internet? Hashtag MMA Cam 17. I'm back again. Um, Here to do my most anticipated bouts, or just a rundown of just fights that I want to see this year, and I think that people that are interested in the MMA community should go ahead and pay attention to if you can. So, running down the list of um, my most anticipated bouts. Here it comes. First on the list is Fight Night 41, Silva Brown. I'm most anticipating the main event, which is Matt Brown versus Eric Silva. Um, I actually really want to see that because it has welterweight implications, which I just talked about in my last video. And I think Matt Brown has a chance to, come through pretty strong right there. Um, of course, that fight is little ways out. I think that's probably like the furthest fight that I have um, on here. So kind of backtracking. I think this is in order, and I'm not sure. But going backwards from that, Tough Canada versus Australia. The finale has Bisping and Kennedy in the main event. Want to see that. I really think that Michael Bisping with a with a decent showing could propel herself up into a conversation in the middleweight division right now. Um, and also before I move on from Tough Canada and Australian finale, I want to see Dustin Poirier versus Akira Corsani at that event. That's going to be a good fight. I love Akira Corsani. Of course, I'm part Swedish, so always love the chance to cheer on fighters from Sweden. So uh, and Poirier has been on a tear lately. The diamond has been no joke, so that's gonna be interesting to see. And I think going back, that's those are two fights are the only fights I have from that event. Actually going backwards now, UFC on Fox 11. Um, actually, I have Barbosa and Cerrone on here. I think that's a good kickboxing match. We could potentially get to see for free on television. Yeah, two good 155ers. Um, hey, put them up. Cerrone's been on a tear. Cowboys been looking good lately. Um, and Barbosa kind of he looked like he struggled early on in this most recent fight. Um, we'll see what happens in that one. Another fight at 155, Nurmagomedov versus Dos Anjos. Um, I really like Nurmagomedov over pretty much anybody in the 155 division right now. But Dos Anjos is going to be a challenge. Um, he will be he'll be up to the challenge. Believe Dos Anjos' last fight was against Cerrone, or one of his previous fights against Cerrone. It's very recent, and he looked to pick Cerrone apart pretty much the entire fight. So I don't know what to expect with this. Um, it could be a dominant win for Nurmagomedov and sort of a snoozer for some fans because he likes to grapple, but Dos Anjos could prove very explosive in grappling and explode out of certain situations that we haven't seen anybody do against Nurmagomedov. So that's an interesting bout. Also, Masvidal and Healy. Um, that's another good fight at 155, and I have Josh Salmon versus Magayesh. I thought that was a good. I think that's a good fight, and also one of my anticipated ones. Going to UFC 173. Um, of course, I want to see Weidman and Machida. I believe that probably ranks number one as far as fights I want to see, anticipated fights I'd like to see. As far as the UFC is concerned, I think Weidman gets the win, maybe. It's hard to say right now. It's a little bit too early. I probably won't do my prediction vid probably until a week of it, but that's about that's a fight that I think pretty much anybody who's remotely interested in what MMA's got going on um, wants to see. Also, I think Dos Santos versus Miocic could still a fight of the night. Dos Santos, if it's not for Cain Velasquez, is the champion right now. Um, and Miocic is no slouch at all, man. He's got some good stand up. He's boxing background. I believe he's a Golden Glove winner, and also has a little bit of wrestling background too. So he could look to mix it up a lot like a Cain Velasquez would on the Dos Santos. But it's a interesting pairing, and I like to see these two heavyweights go at it. I mean, they're both pretty bright contenders, and whoever makes it out of this, I think will probably still have one more fight to go. I hope Junior has one more fight to go. I wouldn't want to see him fight Kane again after just one outing. Um, uh, Shoot, I just jumped around to UFC 173, so let's go backwards to UFC 171, or I mean 172. I also have something else from Fox 11 on here too, which I kind of wrote not in order. But getting into 172, um, what do we have? Oh, Jones Teixeira, um, Davis Johnson, Rocco versus Tim Boach, Green Miller, Ben Benavidez versus Elliott, Medeiros versus Ellenberger, Joe Ellenberger, the younger brother, I believe, of Jake. But looking at this, I think the most anticipated fight for me from UFC 172 would probably have to be I think the most interesting for me at least is Davis versus Johnson, because Johnson coming back after his stint at WSOF is going to be interesting to see how the competition level stacks up. He's been fighting heavyweights, guys that are much bigger than Phil Davis and Andre Arlovsky. So I'm interested to see how he comes back. I mean, Phil Davis is a good litmus test for him, and I think Jones Teixeira is comparable as far as hype for me at least, because I want to see Davis versus Johnson, but Jones Teixeira that's gonna be a very good fight. And I think I think I'll hold my prediction until I do my video, because I was just getting ready to get into who I think will win that fight, but I'm not gonna dispel that just yet. Rockhold and Boach, I think that's a really good fight, and I think they was originally slated to fight in about earlier, either last year or earlier this year. I think it was last year. I think it's 2013. But anyways, moving on through um UFC 172, Benavidez uh is trying to get back to the title picture, but um, he's gonna need a couple fights. Um, I think he take I think he takes Tim Elliott here, but Elliott ain't no slouch. I think that's the end of UFC 172, but um one bout that I'm extremely excited about is Travis Brown versus um Verdum, Fabricio Verdum, and these two guys, um, to me, aren't necessarily the challengers that you really want to be next up fighting a champion as dominant as Cain Velasquez. But what makes it so interesting is that Cain will be coming off of a very long layoff. Um, he seems to handle them well, but you never know with different injuries. Um, so it will be interesting to see if he'll have to take on Verdum, who is a submission guy who we've never seen him face. Never seen him face a submission specialist, and if he gets Brown, a guy that can establish good range, a tall fighter. We've never seen Kane at a disadvantage like that. So I'm looking forward to dissecting either one of those fights, man. I'm chomping at the bit. So that fight is really interesting if you pay attention to the heavyweight division at all. Um, Seeing who's next for Cain Velasquez, because the new challenger is really, I think what the heavyweight division is dying for. Um, Getting away from Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos over and over, you know. Um, but I think that's the end of my anticipated bouts actually have been announced this year because this is all that's been announced. We still got more. Um, comment your favorite fights of this year that are coming up. Which ones are you looking forward to the most? And which ones are you looking forward to the least? Comment, let me know. I should have another video coming soon. Follow me on Twitter for more news on that, updates, and what usually I'm thinking about on a day-to-day basis as far as MMA is concerned. Um, so follow me at hashtag MMA on Twitter. Also follow me on WordPress at hashtag MMA.wordpress.com. And as always, be easy.